One of the ways that they're trying to make this tomb disappear is its common names. Well, it's not so common. They only found one such cluster. You know, it's typical of first century Jewish burial practices. That's not so typical. They only did it for 90 years, 100 years, from about 30 BC to about 70 AD when Jerusalem was destroyed, 30 BCE to 70 CE of the Common Era. 100 years. You find an ossuary, you know exactly what time frame it belongs to because they never used it before and they never used it after. And it's not so typical. By calling it typical, so it sounds like millions of people were using ossuaries, and how can you find Jesus of Nazareth? Well, only Jerusalemites used ossuaries and Galileans. Sound familiar? So we've now reduced all the Jews in all of history to a small little group living in Jerusalem and the Galilee. That's it. During a tiny little period of time. What does that mean? Well, if it's not so typical, then it's not so odd that we can find the Jesus in a family tomb, because there were not that many people who used that practice to begin with. It's a very unique practice. You put someone in a tomb, you put them in a shroud, you wait till they decompose, you take the bones and put them in a box, presumably to wait for the resurrection of the dead. It's unique. In all the Talmud, we don't have, in an entire body of Jewish history, there's not one tradition attached to one rabbi who was buried in this way. Not one, except Jesus of Nazareth, who's called Rabbeinu, our rabbi. Meaning, it's very specific practice to a specific geography, to a specific time period, to a specific group. So it shouldn't be so odd. Like if millions of people are eating ice cream, it's hard to find, you know, this guy who ate that. But if only one guy in the entire city likes ice cream, then when you find an ice cream cone, you can connect it. Meaning, if it's only one little group that does something, then it's not so odd that you should actually find the archaeological remnants of that group doing exactly that thing. So one of the ways they want to make the tomb go away is these are common names and typical of everybody. Sorry, Google this. Look anyway. It's not typical. It's specific to a small group, small time, and it seems to be connected with Jesus and his followers.